Hello, welcome to White Birch Tarot and Astrology. This is sort of an impromptu reading. I wasn't really planning on doing one tonight. And then I looked at the astrology and there's so much happening. And I thought, we're almost to the full moon in Leo. And there's other stuff happening. So I think I'll do a quick reading about what's happening now because it really is a lot. And I'm going to start out with a brief quote. I'm reading a book. Sort of. I keep putting it down, then picking it back up. It's called, and I don't remember the subtitle, it's called Anamcara, Anamcara, which I think, would that mean dear soul or something? Something soul, dear sweet soul, I don't know. It's by John O'Donohue, and he said this in the book. I underlined this because I love it. I've always believed this, but he puts it beautifully. He says, nature is the mirror of the divine imagination and the mother of all sensuality. Therefore, it is unorthodox to understand spirit in terms of the invisible alone. Ironically, divinity and spirit derive their power and energy precisely from this tension between the visible and the invisible. Everything in the world of soul has a deep desire and longing for visible form. This is exactly where the power of the imagination lives. Yes, I hate it when people, act like the physical is bad somehow. It's not easy, but anyway. Just my opinion here. And I will timestamp when the tarot reading begins. I'll try to make this brief, but I just wanted to let you know that, okay, I'm doing this on, it's after midnight, so now it's the 29th, so I'm actually a day late. But on the 27th, basically, depending on where you are in the world, possibly the 28th, Mars and Pluto met up at 3 degrees of Aquarius. Say that 10 times. And Mars is the ancient ruler of Scorpio, and Pluto is the current ruler, so they have a connection. You could say they're co-rulers. And they're both in Aquarius, which is, progressive thinking and the collective consciousness, and also sometimes the unexpected. So when we get Mars and Pluto together, there can be power struggles. There can also be physical embodiment of subconscious feelings, weird dreams. Let's see, I already said power struggles. There can be some anger, and it's not all bad, though. There can be some very powerful messages coming in and some work done on a very physical level, or something that you've been struggling with that you just weren't quite sure about. This only happens about once every 2 years. And it can be surprising when it's in Aquarius. Something can come up. Something can happen that you really didn't see coming. And it could have to do with relationships, because today, the 29th, Mercury and Venus are together at 14 degrees of Aquarius. So we have 4 planets in Aquarius here, plus the sun, actually 5. And when Mercury and Venus get together, there's a lot of communication and thinking about relationships and what we value. And Pluto is also what we value. Pluto can be hidden treasure. Usually it's hidden in the subconscious, but sometimes it's literally hidden treasure. You can get an inheritance or something. We should be so lucky. No, you don't want that, because that means somebody passed away. But so there's a lot of thinking going on about relationships right now, and a lot of energy in that area. And it could be things from the past. It could be current things. Again, when it's in Aquarius, it's always something a little unexpected, good or bad. I mean, I had something kind of unexpected happen today, and I kind of knew it might happen, but it was quicker than I thought. And it was a good thing. Difficult for me a little bit, but good. And I was taken aback. Anyway, you just never know when it's usually something to do with deep relationships and something to do with getting some information from somebody. And again, it's often unexpected. So, and the full moon comes up on the 1st. It's at 13 degrees of Leo, which is, of course, opposite Aquarius. So it's going to be basically opposite all these planets. So that's going to be interesting. And it's exactly opposite my Mercury. So yay! So I'm either going to be really good at this tonight and on the full moon, or I'm going to be just goofy as hell. So we will see. So far I'm feeling kind of goofy. But you never know. Sometimes goofy is good. So I've just drawn 6 of the Oak, Ash, and Thorn cards and an Oracle card. And the Oracle card was a surprise. Surprise. Okay, so I get the High Priestess, which kind of doesn't surprise me because she is about subconscious stuff coming up and getting in touch with it. She's got a scroll. I don't know what kind of, is that a baby owl? I don't know. But she's got a scroll. So it's wisdom and information that's coming from the dark, you know, from the night, from the subconscious. And but she's able to put it into some kind of, I don't know if those are words, but some kind of message comes through that we're able to decipher, hopefully. And it comes up, I think, on an emotional level. It could probably come up with Mercury in the mix, is probably coming up mentally and emotionally, because here's the Ace of Cups. So whatever this is, it's offering you something new. It's not only a new way to look at something, it's a new way to feel about something. You might be changing your thoughts and feelings, and you've discovered, oh, wait, I thought I felt this way, but here's another way to feel about this. And again, when all this stuff's in Aquarius, it could be sudden, but all of a sudden, you know, I don't know how sudden it is. Maybe this took 5 hours to rise. I don't know. But, you know, he's like, oh, I'm being offered this. Well, okay, good. You know, there's a snail involved, so it could be slow, but we're a new emotion emerges. So what do we do with that? Well, feel your emotions usually. Process them. 4 of Swords. This is about, normally it's kind of about stopping the mental chatter, but with all of this Aquarius energy and Mercury conjunct Venus and all that, I'm not sure that's going to be possible. So I think this is telling us, it's telling us to try to stop the mental chatter, but it's telling us to take a break. I don't know why I'm feeling like maybe if you're taking care of someone, probably because of the Venus aspect, but it's about taking care of yourself and letting yourself heal and having some alone time, some quiet time, you know, find a sanctuary where you can just take a little break, because things are really heavy right now. There's a lot to process going on inside us and outside us. Don't overwhelm yourself with social media or news or whatever. I can't do that. It's just, but then oddly, or maybe not, we get the Queen of Swords. And she's usually about, you know, being in control of your mind and your thoughts. I want to look at this, because this deck is just a little bit different. Let's see how they, okay, yeah. Okay, they put it a little differently, and that makes more sense to me. They're calling it honesty and logic. So don't overthink, but also don't get overwhelmed by the emotions right now and the whirling thoughts. Take a good, honest look at what your plan is. What are you thinking about right now? What are your thoughts centering on? How are your emotions treating you? How are your thoughts treating you? Where can you lighten the load a little bit? But it's time to be really honest. And, you know, when stuff comes up from the subconscious, a lot of times it's stuff that it's down there for a reason, because we don't want to feel it. We don't want to think about it. We don't want to, you know, hear it, whatever. You might even get, you know, since we got this Mercury conjunct Venus, oh, I forgot to write down the time. Oh, well, I'll do it later. You might even get some communication that you weren't expecting that's a little, well, maybe it's very honest. Might even be a little hard to take. I don't know. But there's some very clear communication going on here. maybe a little, might have a little sting in the tail with the sword here. Okay, and then this, I did this for a personal reading I did for someone the other night. And I drew 2 cards at the bottom, and I said to myself, these are the foundation. This is like the why of, what's the basis of all this. And I got the Wheel of Fortune. And if you remember, we got this in the reverse. Was it last time or 2 times ago? Now it's in the upright. So this is something changing. The wheel is turning. We're moving forward, or life is moving forward with or without us. And that's good. It's always good to make progress. But I think the reason this is all happening is because this can be mental apathy. And with all this stuff going on, I kind of doubt we're being apathetic right now. But we could be being stubborn. Mars and Pluto are both, as I said, rulers of Scorpio, which is a fixed sign. Aquarius, where all of these conjunctions are taking place, is a fixed sign. So there could be, and the full moon coming up is in a fixed sign. So there's 3 out of 4 of the fixed signs. Actually, and then on the 3rd of February, Uranus goes direct in Taurus, the 4th fixed sign. So my God, there's a lot of fixed energy going around. This is about being stubborn. So there's something, an emotional stubbornness, an emotional thing that we're stuck in that we need to be kind of eased out of or jolted out of. So when the wheel turns, it's doing that for a reason. So this, whatever comes up for you, this new emotion or this honest communication you get where somebody says it like it is and maybe you weren't ready to hear that or whatever, or you're overwhelmed by the communication, you need to take a little break. It's happening because you need to be jolted out of, maybe jolted is too strong a word. You need to be turned. The wheel needs to turn a little bit because you're stuck in a stubborn emotional, I almost said an emotional mindset, but it is like a mindset and a body set and an emotion set all together. Something's stuck, okay? And it needs to be looked at differently. And then I drew an oracle card, and I don't like it, but here it is. And you know what? Would somebody please, what the hell is that thing off the, sorry, I'm going to use a swear. I've never understood if that person wearing a party hat that's turned upside down, what is that orange thing? Because it looks like a carrot. But she's in a gown that's falling down here. It must be a party hat. I don't know what it is. Anyway, we feel orphaned. There's a face in here. In all of these cards, there's a couple of these in this deck. I can't find the face, but I know they all have one. Can you see it? Right there. Anyway, so there's a feeling of loss. You know what? What does it say here about... is there anything I'm missing? I mean, that seems pretty obvious, but sometimes it does good to... A sense of loss, yeah, I just said that. An identity crisis, recognizing that you don't fit in, the need to belong, uncertainty about your place. Well, Aquarius has a lot to do with fitting in, because Aquarius rules the rebel, the eccentric person, what's the word I want? What's that word for someone who's really, I can't think of it, just went out of my head. So Aquarius does have a lot to do with, even though it's the sign of the progressive thinker who kind of doesn't fit in, there's still a part of Aquarius, because of the Saturn rulership too, that does want to fit in. In fact, I would say that's kind of the shadow side of Aquarius, is they desperately want to fit in, but they feel like they don't, because they're just kind of different in a good way. Let's see, no man is an island. It's important to recognize when being a part of rather than separate from is essential to your well-being. The issue at hand is the need to find where you fit. Be true to your core truths and values. You might be feeling a deep sense of loss or confusion. Address the need for belonging and know that you will find your place with others of like mind and spirit. It's okay to let go of pressure to fit in. Not everyone will understand you. It's time to move on. Okay. Okay. It says the shadow side of this card speaks to the essence of abandonment. Perhaps you feel a need to remain apart because intimacy is too threatening. I will say that Aquarius energy has that very objective side to it, which is good, but does have a little trouble sometimes, I think, dealing with intimacy. It also warns against creating inappropriate family structures in order to conceal old wounds. Ouch, okay? It's time to address the unhealthy alliances you formed and make a decision to heal the past. You will not be abandoned by the world if you claim yourself as whole. Not all relationships are dysfunctional, and not all of them will disappoint you. Don't abandon yourself. You can connect to others in a healthy way once you recognize your patterns and consciously choose to interrupt them. Life wants to love you. Let it. Wow, that took us to a place I wasn't expecting. That made me dizzy. Okay, that's a lot right there. Okay, so I hope this made sense. I will, well, it's too late now. I was going to say I will timestamp this, but I'll put it in the thing. So anyway, please leave me a comment. Please hit the like, share, and subscribe buttons. I appreciate every one of you. And I hope this energy is treating you well. And I will talk to you later. Blessings. Good night.